these, or I collected these, because if you ask 11 guys in America, what is internal arc, you get 12 different answers. Right? We all use the same words, so we don't mean all the same things. So I just try to come up with started with 6, added 7. 7 things that, if you've been training correct internal arc, you should just be able to do. So the origin of the name here is I used to love David Letterman in junior high school. Late show with David Letterman, stupidjintricks. That's the stupid trick part. And of course, Chang is sort of this internal stuff. A comment I'll put on this is I invented these all before I got into CV suit thing. So it's like, while these days I think you can train suit earlier than I have been trying to show it, I was able to figure out how to do all these just with a pure Chang focus. And the other reason this is stupid, if you ask a real master, he will look at you like, want to see me scrub my ear with Chang? Is that what kind of stupid things you're asking? So these are really stupid. So they're really, it's more of a litmus test. Can you do these? If you can, you've been training internal stuff for a while, okay. If you can't, you haven't. And all the potentially insulting side insinuations, I don't really, they're there, but I'm not going to. Bob, feeling changed. So align yourself up. Give me a sustained, maybe 15 pounds of constant pressure. So you feel my alignment, you feel your alignment, right? So you can feel this. So you will see almost nothing. You will feel. So I'm just going to cheat. It's in the chest, solar plexus, stomach, dantian. So now when you push, so I'm underneath you, right? So I have come, and you can see the look on his face. I've come underneath him without coming underneath him, right? This is how guys in judo sink the chi. Works very well, right? So I start pushing in. So it's in the chest, it's under. So I think it for you to feel chest, solar plexus, stomach, dantian. Now I'm in dantian, you push. I'm already underneath you. You feel your power's gone. And so it goes back there. Ask Kickery, this is great. This is telegraphic. Push, I'm under. Right here, I'm under. This is better. All you guys that know anything about fighting, you know that that's bad and that's good, right? So, sink the chi. So I call this out as something. Why don't you describe it?
It just feels like your center of gravity is lower than mine.
Right. So but you can see how this word matches what you feel. You go, something is sinking there. But not my physical body. So I call this out as, it's a basic Chang skill. You should have one. 2, this seemingly rainbow coalition, child freedom, rainbow seeming term is jargon. It means something. I was just talking to Kevin about Utrini. There's a picture of famous Shinny guys, and one of them is Utrini. He looks like the crankiest guy ever in internal arts. That was a badass mofo. He doesn't have time to do that. Kick butt, right? So that's right. So sink the chi is that. I'll give one other sink the chi demo just to spread the name, and then the next one. Can't do everyone because so someone else want to feel. All right. So put your hand. So you align. So again, so you want to feel different. So push the heart. Okay, good. Keep it. Okay. So it's here. It's chest. Here, here, here. So it's saying. So now when you push, you see how you're rolling over me. Actually, you're almost pushing yourself off. Okay. Sink the chi. It's real, it's tangible. There is a butt kickery end result in mind for this. It's not just an all in peace sort of thing. Sink the chi. So it's one of those things as if we have any engineers, you should be going, so how does that work? I don't know. You should. In Westerners interpreting the classics, they say, oh, it says this, but it means something else. But in fact, when they say that dantian moves, it's true. So let me tighten my shirt a bit, and you will thank the fact that I eat too much to make my dantian more visible to you. There's some small part real dantian, a large part of fat. So, so if I put my hands on my hips, you can see that I can move the dantian side to side. Put it this way, this is how Shotokan moves the dantian. Turn the hips, which is attached to this. You can see I can move this. And again, it's not really about belly dancing. So in truth, it's part of a whole body thing, but the bottom, if you practice, you get articulation. You see where my belt buckle, up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right. You can move. So when people do dantian, stuff like that, the dantian does drive everything. It moves. Obviously, if it moves in conjunction with the rest of the torso, it's stronger. But there's a certain amount of articulation. When I say the dantian moves, it does move. It can move if you're privy. I used to host in Chang in D.C. for like 4 years before I moved to California. So the best time to catch him is after shower in the basement. He's wearing a white beater t-shirt. So you can see all stuff at the silk suit, which I call the chi hiding suit or dantian hiding suit. You can see all kinds of stuff that you can't see. Let's push up mass. Mass, there's a secret physics formula for combat. Mass works. So traditionally, the reason Chinese martial arts like the horse stance is you push, it's very strong. Use your hands. Okay, so you can push, go ahead, push hard as you want. Horse stance is very strong. You know, and so you're still like bonded to go, right, like that. They end up in a strong position. That's why it always puzzles them. Why do you punch like this when it's the weakest part of the stance? But so you'll see lots of Shaolin things like that. This is the strong push. So Shaolin is really strong. Go ahead, put your back. So it's a strong stance. So if structure were Jing, and I'm going to break my structure, as I break my structure, push, you feel how I broke the structure, and he's able to push me out. And so internal arts, human pinch out, see a lot. They have all the structure based on. Keep your structure, break your structure. If that were true in internal art, push. So you should not be able to push harder. Push harder. Have you ever heard of drunken fist? I shouldn't be able to push him out if it were just structure. So that being said, structure and Jing are related. Position of best structure will have the best Jing, but it's not the same. Jing is more of a superset. But there's a point where you come, you've been doing your Shaolin Kung Fu, I know structure, blah, blah, blah. It's not structure, it's more structure than that. Okay, hold on. This nice part here. This part here is like 1/4 of the entire Tai Chi form, that motion there, right? And I'll tell you up front, for any traditional Chinese martial art, there are no useless movements. So let me go get Aaron again. So in a movement like this, so I'm going to take it's sort of a follow of Jing's structure. In a position like this, push, I should not be able to have any Jing here, because it, right? So I much less push him back with it. What you normally expect, well, for me to do, I have to have pecs like this because I'm doing on a pec fly. It's connection, right? Because I can hold this when I'm doing this in the form. That's basically this, right? There is no time in this form where you're weak. It goes back to when I'm talking about Neja being all based on 6H. 6H. So when I'm doing this, you have to be able to apply that.
So one question though.
Yes.
So, you know, I can look at the physics of that and see how tough that's going to be. So that's got
All sorts of stuff. You speak on.
You know this arm lock?
Yes.
Okay. So take that one, grab, and apply. So same thing again. Go. So when he applies this, again, I can connect. I'm not letting him attack this, which is what he wants. Actually, he wants to attack that. I'm not letting him attack that. I just connect. And so he's working my whole body instead of just my arm, right? So that's the first, yeah, so connection. I did this one and that one, front and back side, if suited, if you want to talk about that a bit. But you can see how I can bend. So when I take it, it's not because I'm Hulk, no move. I'm not that, right? You're going, you can't move it, but it's not because I'm tense. If actually, if I were to tense up, then my shoulder would be under attack. He takes this one again, he takes, I can do a connection. This is real stupid. So let's say, oh, he's got me, keep on. He's got me, oh no, he's got me. Oh, no, he doesn't. what I can let him do is he takes that. So again, I can go and I can let him wind me. So now when I unwind, and you can see how he falls over. I mean, there's a multiple. You see all these movements, internal arts, these windings. It's not decorative. I know some people are, oh, it lets your arm sort of scrape across more easily in certain movements. It's true, but you can see all, especially Chang style Tai Chi. You see all those winds. You can see, look at boom, wind. You know, there's application to all that winding, right? And so you'll see it in the form all the time. Winding has a use. When I'm doing the wind, you see how he falls over? Partly it increases the strength, partly because the force is complex. You see how he's like, I'm not just going, because I'm unwinding. It's like, you know, twisting or something like that, and that makes it more complicated. And so, back to the butt kickery theme. You see why this has some value. And you said it hurt to read from once afterwards, so I never did that. But the point with long power, short power is, like in Wing Chun, they have some tricks. It's like the Wing Chun's, the idea that Bruce Lee got like 1 inch, 3 inch punch from. And short power punch is not their normal power. It's a trick that they learn. There's a wrist, there's an elbow thing, but it's like you can't do the Wing Chun punch with your shoulder because it's a trick involving this part of the arm and body drop. In internal art, long power and short power are the same. It's just a push is like this, and a short power is this, but otherwise it's the same body mechanics. So I change this instead because the other part of all Jing all the time, you know, think like this. The Jing comes across everything. So I think it's camera friendly. If I do a move like that single whip, if my leg contacts him, that's where the Jing is. If my hip contacts him, that's where the Jing is. If my shoulder contacts him, that's where the Jing is, right? If the obviously, when I start to get the elbow, it's more obvious in the hand. So when you come like this, it's like a tie to all Jing all the time. The Jing comes everywhere. So in a lot of the Neja apps, a lot of the entries here, boom, I will use the leg. See how I've already broken them with the leg? I'll use the leg as part of that because I bring Jing everywhere all the time. And so there's certain tactics you can apply then. If instead of, people think of structure going, here's how my structure is. No, if you bring Jing, it's like that little plasma thing where you touch it, wherever you touch it, the thing goes. The Jing is like that, wherever I contact. So you do this kind of application, it's like a tidal wave. Wherever the wave hits you, you go. So in that way, it's kind of better. When I was talking about like that Shaolin move, this one, there's a sweet spot between here and here that's strong. So if you're smart, you catch me here where there's no sweet spot. So this goes back to the 6H arts. All the techniques have to work slow. If you can't do a technique slow, then it's not part of a 6H art. So Shaolin has a wheel fist. That's good, but it's very ballistic. Muay Thai has, you know, baseball leg attached to their hip sort of technique. That's great as a fighting technique, but in slow-mo, it's pretty lame, right? In internal art, you know, I should be able to do that slowly, or you can imagine if I did it very quickly, they both work, right? So that's all really it is. Same thing. So I can do short, I can do fast, my leg, my knee, my head. People still go home, I got it, and they go back to what they were doing. So I tried to attack the biggest concept. If you want to think of like a right cross, I rotate the body, I shift my weight. And you can see all the same thing happens in the reverse punch. It doesn't techniques. People think, this is where your power is. Let me get Aaron again. So we can look at that. It's a very powerful mechanism. So you know, out of that, you're able to push the guy through it. So you can see when you do this, it's that bring up structure and alignment. So this is still wide. I can move a little less. Skip the alignment, boom, right? You can see mechanically it's very boom, shift weight. So if you think of everyone who can land a punch, they rotate and they shift their weight, right? So the idea for this is very well. So next you gotta be your arms, lock your arms to be stiff. So I should not be able to, and I purposely lock my arms out. I'm not doing this So I'm locking this. I should, and you can see, I don't straighten my arms. I don't rotate the body because I use 2 fists. I can't shift my weight. So I'm sitting in a chair, push, I should not be able to move him, taking away everything that, normally the wide jack guys, this is all the secrets to power. Oh, sure, I can add this to all those things and it's even better. But I take away the things that people think, oh, you have to have this, or you don't have any power. Right? So that's sort of the punch thing. It's just this weird thing, you can do it, it's not useful. So there are guys that can generate ridiculous amounts of power seeds like that. I'm not one of them, but I know how it works, so I actually practice. But, yeah, so that's stupid.